What's up, you grounded communicator? Today we're going to be talking about how to break the ice and why your conversations feel forced. We are going to dive right into it. So I hope, as usual, you have your notebook and pen handy. This is Shako from Mind's Eye Status. Let's become grounded communicators today. There's a big reason why most people struggle to have a conversation that flows, that feels effortless, turning small talk into something meaningful. It's because they struggle with breaking the ice. You like my handwriting? It's the best, I know. I had a client today on our call ask me, he said, Shako, how do I break the ice with people? I find it difficult to have a meaningful conversation when I go to networking events. And here's what I said to them. He said, how do I break the ice? I said, okay, you want to break the ice? How about we forget the whole concept of ice being broken? Instead, the ice that needs to be broken is your stifled energy. If you don't know what stifled energy is, you need to subscribe and watch my previous videos. Stifled energy prevents you from communicating authentically and spontaneously because it basically means stiffness in your body. The mind and the body are connected. How you feel physically in your body is going to manifest in your mindset, in your emotional state as well. Therefore, if you feel stiff, like ice, there's no point me teaching you a canned line that you can go and rehearse like some actor, not creating an authentic conversation when you first haven't broken the ice within yourself. Breaking the ice happens before you step into any conversation, not in the beginning of the conversation. When you are genuinely unstifled and relaxed, the energy is flowing, you're breathing deep, your muscles are relaxed, you're unstifled, there will be no need to break the ice because things will happen spontaneously and confidently. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to unstifle, and I'll share with you some stories as well of how I've used even being stifled to my advantage to have a pleasant conversation with meeting people. So you no longer have to be stuck in your head, overthinking what to say. So no more overthinking, awkward silences, worrying about what to say next. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with these challenges. And also worried about judgment. These effects are from the cause of being stifled, okay? I'm going to teach you exactly how to allow conversation to flow naturally so you can be genuinely charismatic because you guys here are grounded communicators. You're not reactive, you don't flinch, which is why you're here. By the way, if you want one-to-one support on how to actually develop these communication skills, you can book a call with myself or my team for a free communication audit in the description below. So let's get into it. First, I'll share a story with you guys. To be unstifled, you have to be loose and authentic. I went to a networking event a few weeks ago. I didn't know anybody at this event. I was invited by a very good friend of mine. That day, I was feeling exhausted. I had back-to-back meetings and I was feeling a little bit drained, and I didn't really want to go out and network and meet people. In fact, for those of you who don't know, I'm a bit of an introvert. Actually, I say a bit, I'm quite an introvert. So my social battery tends to get drained very quickly if I'm not careful. Anyway, in the evening, I arrive at the hotel. I'm going up the elevator and I realize I have no idea how many people are going to be at this event. I get to the floor and I'm welcomed by one of the facilitators. And the moment I step into the room, I realize it's not a small networking event. There were quite a few people there, a couple of hundred people. Now, when you go to a networking event by yourself, what do most people do? They grab their drink and they look at their phone, essence. And they look at their phone and they kind of just stand there awkwardly, waiting for somebody to start a conversation with them, waiting for somebody to break the ice with them. That's inauthentic and it's stifled. Here's what I did. I walked over casually, good body language, to the bar. I don't drink. I ordered a glass of Coke Zero. And the person who was next to me, the first person that I saw, I literally just said to him, "How you doing, man? My name's Shaka. What's your name?" "Nice to meet you. Jared." Let's call him Jared. I said, "Jared, let me be honest with you, brother. My social battery is down here right now. I'm usually a bit of an introvert, so I feel like I'm stepping out of my comfort zone here. Are you here by yourself as well?" And he laughed and he said, "Yeah, I am actually. I don't really go to that many networking events." And we ended up having a very pleasant conversation because I was unstifled. I was loose and I was authentic as well. I wasn't trying to hide the fact that my social battery was a bit low. I just shared it openly because the way that you can tell if somebody is unstifled, here are some signs. And this will give you high status, by the way. If you're enjoying this, I hope you're taking notes. Leave a comment and like. Here are some signs of high status, okay? Which is not the goal, but it is a result of unstifled communication. First, it's spontaneity. I don't think I'm spelling that right. Anyway, I'm a communication coach, not a grammar coach. Spontaneity, humor, and presence to the moment. Another one is actually, of course, great body language. In order to display spontaneity, a good sense of humor, being present to the moment, and great body language, you need to unstifle yourself before you go to the event. So here's what I want you to try next time. In fact, you can try it right now during this, watching this video. Wherever you are, just sit back for a second. Even if you're walking or walking on the treadmill while watching this video, whatever it is, I want you to pay attention to your belly. Is there any tension that you're holding in your belly? Take a deep breath through your nose into your belly. And with your exhale through your mouth, relax your belly. One more time. Let out a sigh. You notice the belly expanding a little bit? Don't be afraid. Let it expand a little bit. This has been, I had a client who finished our program and I caught up with him and he was so grounded during dinner. Shout out Pranav. So grounded during dinner. I asked him, I said, "Pranav, what's been one of the biggest keys that resulted in this transformation? Because you're a grounded communicator sitting in front of me. You weren't like this when we started." He said, "Shako, it's relaxing my belly and breathing deep." That alone made him unstifled and it displayed high status. The thing is, when you are unstifled, you will easily be spontaneous because you're allowing your intelligence to flow. Have you noticed whenever you feel confident, whenever you feel on point, and you end up feeling more intelligent? You feel sharper mentally. When you are confident, hello? You feel mentally, sorry, my wife just walked past looking fire. I just had to get distracted, okay? That's what happens when you're unstifled. You become very socially aware, even in your own home. When you are confident and unstifled and relaxed, it allows spontaneity to flow, which makes you witty, makes you intelligent, makes you sharp, and that results in a better sense of humor. A sense of humor is a display of high status. By the way, this is all tying in to making conversations flow easily so they don't feel forced. Because I'm not interested in teaching you canned lines. I know there are YouTube videos out there, great creators, by the way, who teach you specifically what to say. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in you becoming the best version of yourself as a grounded communicator, where you don't need to rely on tactics. Because being spontaneous, being charming is who you really are. Humor shows that I can be spontaneous, I can think quick on my feet, I can be myself, I can be witty, and that leads to a great conversation. When you get out of your own way, getting in your own way looks like being stiff and stifled. When you get out of your own way, you're allowing yourself to be in a flow state. You're allowing yourself to communicate spontaneously. That is authenticity. That's where meaningful conversations come from. Meaningful conversations aren't scripted, right? And you can impact all of this with these two. Being present to the moment and then working on your body language are the first two lessons that we take our clients through. So again, if you want direct support with this, book a call with us in the description. Presence and energy impacts how stifled you are, because in order to recognize if you are stifled, you have to be present and aware, right? Then you realize, I am a bit stiff actually. That's why it's a bit hard to talk to people. It's the biggest reason. Now I can work on my body language. Now I can be proactive with having my shoulders back, with projecting my voice, my tonality, with relaxing my belly and breathing deep. Now I feel unstifled. Now I can record a video without a script and be totally spontaneous and share my insights with you. None of these are scripted, obviously. This is possible even without preparation. I don't have notes in front of me. Sometimes I do, but that's fine. Even when I do, they're dot points. I don't need to be scripted because I've trained myself, as you are training yourself, to be a grounded communicator. You do not flinch. Okay? Let me know if you're resonating with this in the comments, and if there's any other subject that you'd like to hear about. Now you're probably wondering, how do I actually have the conversation? Shaka, okay, now I feel unstifled, but what now? What happens now is I want you to say whatever comes to mind. Whether it's, I'm a bit of an introvert, this is out of my comfort zone, are you here alone? Or maybe you make a joke about the situation. Am I the only one that thinks it's normal to not drink alcohol here? Whatever's on your mind. Or how many networking events have you been to this week, this month? Literally anything that comes to your mind. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. And if you say it in a way that it's unstifled, it is grounded and authentic, people are drawn to that because that displays high status. You are practicing high status communication the more authentically you allow yourself to flow. My approach usually, this isn't a method, but my approach to start conversations, because I know some of you are probably wondering, all right, Shako, we're discussing the inner work, but what about the practical side of things? Again, I don't like going into this too much because I would rather you be spontaneous and authentic, but when I approach somebody, here's what I do. Let's say approaching strangers at a networking event, for example. I say, hi, I'm Shako. What's your name? Hi, I'm Shako. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Great eye contact, great tonality, powerful body language, firm handshake. After that, either ask an open-ended question or or cold read. This is a great approach. Open-ended question might be, what brings you to the event today? Or I see you're at a creative art workshop. What areas of your life are you creative in? That's an open-ended question. Or a cold read. A cold read is reading somebody and assuming something about them. For example, if they're wearing a lot of colorful accessories and their outfit is colorful and a bit flamboyant, you could say, "You seem pretty creative by your outfit." Statement. That creates an opening for an interesting conversation because either they're going to say, "Yeah, you're right, I'm an artist or a musician," or they might say, "No, what makes you think that?" And then you can point out the colors. Or you might say, "You seem like you're a leader. Are you a manager or CEO of any kind?" Same thing will happen. Either they're going to be pleasantly surprised or they're going to be curious as to why you thought so. And the open-ended questions have a similar impact in terms of creating an interesting conversation, because if I ask you, for example, what brings you to this networking event? And you say to me, "Oh, I just want to meet more people." Then I say, "What's your experience been like meeting new people?" I'm not just asking you a yes or no question. I'm asking you a question that pretty much forces you to elaborate on what you're going to say. That makes the rest of the conversation easy and flowy. Okay? But the first step is to unstifle yourself because you are a grounded communicator. Your social status is whatever status you see in your mind's eye. It's not about your techniques. We're not here to be phony. Let me know what you resonate with most so far in this video in the comments. If you're new here, welcome. I encourage you to subscribe. And again, if you want support with this, book a call with us. It'll be a no obligation, free 10-minute communication audit with myself or somebody from my team. And I will see you guys in a few days.